I think it was 3-4 years ago. No, let's go back further than that. When The Passion of the Christ came out. After I saw The Passion of the Christ in the theater, the first thing I did was I went and I wanted to see church. I wanted to go to church right then and there, but it was nighttime. And so then I turned on the TV and I was flipping through channels, and then all of a sudden I found this channel called EWTN, the Eternal Worship Television Network, I think. And I'm sorry if I get that wrong. I'm sorry. But I had watched church till I fell asleep. They were talking, they had the mass service, they had the rosary prayer, they had everything. They had the teen show. There was like this teen show where they were talking about God, and I fell that was the best sleep because it was so nice. It was so calm and so nice. And I remember that after that I was like, okay, I haven't had that feeling since, my grandparents' church. And that had to have been when I was 16 or 17 when I first watched the Catholic television station. And so after that, because every time every person that I met that saw The Passion of the Christ, they were just super changed, and they were just praying, and because you're just so happy, it makes you proud of your faith again. And like when I saw The Passion of the Christ, after that I started praying, but I started praying different prayers, because I started praying the prayers that my grandparents had taught me. And then I started watching EWTN, and they matched up. The stuff that they were telling me and the stuff that was on EWTN matched up. The prayers that I was praying when I was little and the EWTN prayers matched up. It was like a bunch of stuff matched up. So after that, I was like, okay. So I got myself a rosary. I started watching EWTN as much as I could, and then I would still go to like my aunt's church in San Diego whenever I was with her. And then like my parents, we would go to like different little churches. Like my brother's friend, his parents, ran a Nazarene church, so we would go to the Church of Nazarene, the Baptist church in San Diego. It was just a bunch of stuff. So when I got out into my own, I didn't feel comfortable. For a while, I didn't even go to church at all because I just did not feel comfortable. I just did not feel right going to a Christian church, a Lutheran church, all these other different churches. And I was like, okay, well, I really need to figure out what I want. And so I started going to Catholic church, and I really liked it because I was like super calm. I just sat in the back, just hiding away for a little while. And then after a while, I started like coming out and talking to people and, everything. And so 3 years ago, now, here we go. 3 years ago, I was like, I had not been to church. I had not stepped foot in a church in a long time. And I really needed to go to church. And I was downtown Raleigh, and I was just walking around, and then I found a church. And so I was like, okay. And so I had walked inside, and it was open. And I was like, okay, because I kind of knew that Catholic churches were open, but I didn't know if that one was open. And I just sat there, and I started talking to God. And it seemed like every week, 2-3 times a week, I would go during the weekday. And then they would have church services like every day. I think it was like 1, 2 o'clock, because the kids, because it was a church Catholic school. So it was the church, and then the school was like in the back. So all the kids would come to do their service. And so I started having services with the kids. And there was like some other people that would be there, maybe like 10 people take time out of their work schedule, because you see people in business suits, and you saw people in, regular clothes and stuff come in. And then we all had church and stuff, and I loved it. I loved it. And ever since then, I was like, okay, what is it going to take for me to, have this all the time? And so I started looking up Catholicism and stuff like that. And of course, there's things that you're not going to agree with in inner religion. I don't care what religion you're in, there's always something that you just don't agree with. And there's some things that I don't agree with Catholic churches and Catholicism itself. But I'll say good 85% I agree with. And the other 15 I don't. Which is fine for me, because it was the same thing with Baptist church. Baptist church is different. There was 15% of the, no, I have to say at least like a good 40% of the stuff that I agree with. And then there's about 60% of the stuff that I don't agree with. So, you know, it just all weighs out what really, you know, works for you and your, and I like Catholic church because they're open during the weekday. And then if I can't get to church on Sunday, I at least had my sacrament and church service on Wednesday. I like Catholic churches because you have the Last Supper more than once a month. Because to me, it's like the Last Supper, when you have that sacrament, it's like you take that bread, you drink that wine, you're all hyped up. You're just like, yes, I drank Jesus' blood, I had the body of Christ. That means that I'm covered. That means that I'm good. Like I feel him inside of me, deep down. I'm a part of Jesus. But then after the first week, you know, of that hypeness, you're just like, okay, you know, I need a little pick-me-up piece of bread. I need a little, you know, pick-me-up shot of that blood, you know, that grape juice wine. But you don't get it. You only get it once a month. And I don't think that's right. I think that people should at least have it once a week, twice a week if you really need, you know, to feel that spirit. That's why I like Catholicism, because they do it every time you go to church. Every single time you go, you are not going to forget or, you know, not feel God. Let's see. I don't know. It's just a feeling. I just know that I want to, and I feel like I have to do it. Like, it's not something that I've been like, oh, I think I kind of want to, and shoulda, coulda, or woulda. It's like a real definite, this is what I want to do. Like, I really want to do that. I've always wanted to put when I have children, I've always wanted to put my children in Christian schools. I've always wanted to, you know, have more consistency of Jesus Christ in not only my life and my partner's life, but in, you know, a family, a household. You have to be consistent. And I think for me, being consistent is being Catholic. And then also, I'm super, like, historian buff. Like, I love history to death. And Catholicism has been around for, like, forever. It has, I mean, the Romans killed Jesus physically. The Jews sold him out. The Romans killed him physically. Then the ground opened up, and they said, "Ooh, we messed up." And so then Catholicism was born, which makes sense to me, you know. So for it being like a super 2,000-year-old, you know, religion is really good for me. It's, you know, sold. But yeah, so those are like my journey in Catholicism, and my main, you know, reason why I want to become Catholic. And I couldn't do it this year because it was too much. I couldn't do school and then work and then going to my classes, because when you become Catholic, you have to take the RCIA classes. Those are the rites of Christian something. It's something. I can't think right now, but I will post all that stuff up because I want you guys to see the journey and go through the journey with me. Like, I want to teach you guys everything that I learned, and then explain things that, or answer questions that you guys have or stuff. Because I know that a lot of people are just like, what the more stuff on this, and I hope that you guys still watch and comment and ask questions, and I will take all kind of videos. I will answer every question that you guys ask. I will try to the best of my abilities, but I will talk to you guys later.